I have come up with a systems. I have developed a systems after all this painful experience. Is to number one, do a goal setting, and then come up with a few wealth enhancement strategy. And of course, very importantly, we have to put all that risk management in place because risk management preserves wealth. Then look at property investment as part of the portfolio because you need to balance that portfolio. And lastly, most important thing is to do estate planning because you don't want to create all this wealth only to end up whereby when I pass away and someone who take over that portfolio does not know how to manage it. So this is equally important as well. So one of the strategy that I was looking at, and I'm just quoting an example, is the home equity loan strategy. Now, how does it work? So assuming that you have a private property, fully paid, right, value about $1.5 million, and you are living in it or sitting on it, it is not really a good way to manage your asset, right? We have to learn how to unlock its value. How does that do? How do we actually do that? We know that now home loan has come into a very, very inexpensive expenses. Home loan right now, I believe we are looking at 1.6, 1.7, but never mind, we take it as the 1.8 right now. We also know that CPF special account is giving 4% interest. Now, if I would take up a home loan, an equity loan of $136,000 with a simple interest of 1.8%, the interest that I need to pay the bank is $2,448, right? Putting the same amount of money to CPF special account with interest of 4%, I get $5,440. And immediately I generate a cash flow of $2,992. Now, using the home equity loan with CPF special account or retirement account is a risk-free strategy. You know, basically there's no risk here. But of course, it is also subjected to CPF board restrictions, right? Because you can't, there will be age restrictions, there will be a maximum contribution restrictions, and they have other restrictions that how you can actually maximize it. So you can see that our government is really smart, right? They will allow you to use CPF for certain things, but at the same time, they will actually cap the numbers and not using it. But that's okay. The whole point here is that the similar strategy can be customized for different age and different asset class as well by using this similar strategy. So these strategies are tested and proven, you know, by combining all these different asset class, putting things in the right perspective, you can actually generate more wealth, more cash flow from assets that which you think that it is only there, but not thinking of unlocking its value so that you can actually get into more expenses, more investable asset. You know? So we create a few proprietary systems to grow your wealth, you know, depending on your goal. So for example, let's look at ETF. You know, we have plenty of ETF that actually give yields more than 10%. And by looking into the right directions, we can pick ETF that will basically give you a 3-year returns of 24.77%. Yes, there is such ETF. There is such product in the market. The question here is that, do you know how to find it? Do you know how to use it? And even if you invest in it, how do you actually protect your risk? That is the question that we will always have to ask when we go into such investment. Now, what about buying with your own funds? Let's say that $300,000 that I had 17 years ago, if I would have bought into a REITs and a bonds, right? Separate that into two different baskets of $50,000 and $250,000. The combination of these two products itself, in terms of coupons and dividend payout per year, would have given me $13,500 per year, right? Sure, it is better than that static 4.8% that I used to put it there. I know that we are talking about different risk level here. So trust me, I know I know where I'm coming from. But the whole issue here is that we can actually have the protections on these kind of products as well. Now, using this asset and we go to the broking house, we can actually borrow some money from them. In our case, we borrowed $575,000 and we can put into a ETF that generate 10% dividend. And I'm talking about a very nominal ETF. I'm not even talking about a, do you have the nominal ETF that will generate 10% on average. We are not even picking up the high ETF, which will give you the 20% or 18% kind of things. So by adding all that dividend yield and the incomes, and minus off the interest that we need to pay for the to the broker house, we are talking about $54,900 just on using a proper leverage, risk protections, and unlocking the asset that you have purchased. So these are one of the strategies that we can use to enhance our health, enhance our wealth. Of course, and again, I know that a lot of people will be saying, hey, this is going to be risky and this and that. Of course, we know that, and I know that too. And that's why in every time when we do something, we would have to balance the portfolio. We will need to do another thing so that all this wealth is being protected by the strategy that we create on that part. All right. So what about buying a basket of your favorite stocks with upfront of 2% using equity-linked notes, right? So we talk about investing. We usually think of going to the stock market, buying certain company shares, and we go up there and wait for the yearly dividend, capital growth, so on and so forth. Yeah, but what about going to the bank and say, hey, you know what? I'm going to buy a basket of the I'm going to buy a basket of the stocks and shares, and then with a discount upfront, and then with setting a period of time whereby I would get payment of coupons of 6% and $12,000 of dividend payout based on $200,000 worth of investment. I can do that. So either way, when the share price go up, I gain that $12,000, or if the share price go down, I get to buy the share at the price that I want. So these are one of the few strategies that you can use to enhance your wealth. Now, all these things are not easy to understand, and I don't think that I will be able to explain it clearly in the sense that how this mechanism works. But the important thing is that if you get to understand this sort of products, it is not about understanding the product. It is about you going up to the banker and tell the banker exactly what you want, exactly how you need to structure all these deals so that the bank would know what you want and will be able to give you the best deal. Right, you hear me correctly. You are not buying a product off the shelf. You are talking about buying a product that suits your needs and you know how to customize and you can actually bargain it with the banks, right? So this is how these products are going to come about. Now, so what we know that, as Emin has put it earlier on, we know that these strategies are not for everyone. Okay? These are for those who have substantial net worth and looking for something different, all right, something to grow their wealth fastest. The investment strategy is not a textbook guide. It's not something that I can put down in the notes. You attend 2 hours of my seminars, I will be able you to learn everything. No, it is not. It is about putting years of failures, years of experience together, knowing what to do at the right time. And it is not about, I should have done this, I should have done that. It is about preparing for it, activate the right resources and jump into the market to prepare for the market uptrend or get oneself protected with risk management. So I always like to quote this example. Is it dangerous to drive at 280 kilometers an hour along the streets at night? Yes, it is, but it is not for F1 drivers. When they have the knowledge, the training, the skill, and the proper racing car, they actually making money out of driving fast and get famous too. So the point I'm going to drive at is that you don't have to wait for 17 years to know the mistake I have made. Remember the story I told you earlier. I missed the opportunity because I do not have the mindset. I do not have the goal. I do not have the knowledge. And I do not have someone who has been through the path to advise me correctly. Today, most of us are very fortunate. We have people who are willing to share their mistakes and experience, such as our team. The team will handhold and advise you based on your profile, the best asset class, and the tools you can profit from it.